My 29F husband, 31M, had a violent tantrum after he lost his football bet. I married the love of my life 4 years ago after dating for 3 years, and he's been great to me at first. We both love sports and want our 5-year-old son to be involved in a sport someday, at least for recreation. Over the past year though, he's been gambling on football and it worries me. He's won sometimes and lost sometimes, but we still had enough money to cover expenses either way. A few days ago, he placed a $1,500 bet on the Detroit Lions making it to the Super Bowl. I was mortified as we both pooled the money we earned from our jobs into a joint account, and he didn't consult this. He just told me everything will be fine and that my negativity could affect this. I tried to get him to withdraw the bet or at least reduce it to a $100 bet, but he insisted that if I stay positive, then we would make a lot more money. Ultimately, the Detroit Lions lost, and that's when he had a violent tantrum and blamed their loss on me. He threw stuff at me, screamed at me so loud that our son woke up, and yelled that I owed him $1,500 and that if I don't give him that money in a few days he will scream and yell until it happens. Right now, he's at his friend's house and I'm mortified. What do I do about this, and how do I calm him down? You need to take your kid and leave. This may be the first time he's gotten violent, but the first time needs to be the last. It's not your fault he gambled away your money. It's not your fault the receivers forgot how to catch a ball. It's not your fault the coach still has work to do to get the team ready to win the big games. It's not your fault that your husband has anger issues and took them out on you. None of that is your fault. And none of that is in your control. What is in your control is what you do now. Gather your important papers. Pack some clothes. Grab your kid and get out as soon as you can. If you need help, call a domestic violence center. They can help you get somewhere safe. When someone shows you who they are, believe the evidence. Again, let the first time he is violent be the last time he is violent to you. Get your son and get out. He is abusive and will only get worse. He is not going to calm down. He has issues with accepting blame, and as long as you are there you will be who he blames. Time to get out before you get hurt.
Run.
1. Stop funding joint checking account. 2. Take your kid and get out. Get help, including just to talk. Get out. R. Abusive relationships. You're married to a broke guy with a gambling problem, and he's starting to escalate in his violent acts. And you're not here asking how to keep yourself or your kids safe. JFC. Mortified? I don't know if that the word for this is be scared. He's being abusive and your child likely heard all of it. You leave with your child. It won't be the last time if he gets away with it the first time. Over $1,500? And a football game? That's all it took for him to want to physically hurt you. GTFO. Take your son and go stay with family or something. Make any possible return conditional on him getting help for his gambling and anger issues. Do not return until you know for a fact you will be safe if you do so. You seem to only be looking for advice on how to calm his anger down. You won't be receiving this advice. This type of anger is beyond reason and logic and will not get better. If you don't remove yourself and your child from this situation now, it's gonna be a lot worse next time. And there will be a next time. Doesn't matter if there's no history. There is now. That's an addiction. To think your negative attitude towards a bet somehow influenced the outcome of the game is outrageous. My best advice: if they do it once, they'll do it again. Run. Save you and your child the trauma of going through that kind of abuse. Ridiculous. He needs to grow up. Sorry, but no human being treats his wife and children like this. I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. 1. Stop depositing your check into the joint account. 2. Consult an attorney about your options. 3. Research gambling addiction resources. 4. Give your husband an ultimatum: either he hands over all the finances to your control and gets help with his addiction, or you walk and divorce. And then follow through. If you don't recognize that he has a problem now, he will absolutely demolish your marriage, child's security, and your family's finances. Looking at the comments, it sounds like you're hoping to get a solution that makes it all okay. But that's now how it works with this type of situation. That's not to say he can't change. But he won't when there's no reason to. He'll promise it won't happen again until you agree to stay, and then eventually do it again. You don't have to accept it's over forever. But accept that you can't be with him right now. It's not good for you or your child. There are a lot of red flags here, Op. He bet a large amount of money on a sporting event even though he has a wife and child to consider. The money he used for the bet was half yours. He refused to even acknowledge the possibility that he could lose the bet when he did eventually lose the bet. Instead of admitting that he made a mistake and blowing a bunch of money betting wasn't a good idea, he blamed you, threatened you, and threw a violent temper tantrum. Is this the example that you want for your son? Is this the type of behavior that you want to accept for yourself? You and your son deserve better, Op. You can't force your husband to remain calm and act like an adult. Your husband is a grown man, and if he can't take personal responsibility and turns into a bully when things don't go his way, you may want to consider whether or not this relationship is really what's best for you and your son. Girl, you are responding to people's comments trying to justify his behavior and fix it. You've read multiple times you have to get out of there. You leaving is the solution. This will only escalate. He may have not shown this before, but Pandora is out of the box now. There isn't something that you can say or do to fix this situation. Hey Op. Mr. Ex-husband didn't start the CRA your husband is doing until my kids were 5 months old. I stayed, and ended up with a gun to my head, and a broken nose 3 times. Please, please, please have the courage in you to leave. Do you think the solution is to cater to his man-child outbursts? Also, did he lose his mind throwing things at his wife for losing a game bet? Move to a safe place. Take your child with you. Demand he gets into therapy for his poor behavior, and don't accept anything else. If he refuses, serve him papers. You're doing this for your child. I have so many friends with drunk alcoholic dads with gambling addictions. They too fall into that pit when they get a chance. Nip it in the bud. Take your son and leave. Your husband is not mentally stable.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.